So this area, if you want to come back, is called Opera. And it's a good area for shopping as well, because, as you may have seen as we were driving around, and we'll see again now, there is a big department store called Galerie Lafayette in this area. Actually just behind us now, Galerie Lafayette. Galerie Lafayette is a bit like Harrods in England, in London. It's a huge department store, very posh, very expensive. But it's the end of the sales at the moment, so you could get a bargain. Well, a bargain, you could get something at a reasonable price. But it's really nice. It's a really beautiful department store. It's got a lovely dome-shaped roof. It's a nice place to just have a coffee. They sell everything there. It's good to go and buy souvenirs and posh chocolates. Well, whatever you need. It's a big department store. Very famous in France. Okay, everyone, watch this. Watch Ray's driving now. Oh my god. What a narrow archway. Okay, we are now entering the most famous museum in the world. Look to your left, you will recognize it instantly. The famous Pyramid of the Louvre. This is in fact one of the world's largest museums, the most visited art museum in the world, and a central landmark of Paris, located here on the right side of the riverbank. It's got nearly about 35,000 objects from prehistory to the 19th century. I'm going to be bringing you guys here after the Eiffel Tower. The area it covers is 60,600 square meters. So you have to remember, this used to be the equivalent of Buckingham Palace in Paris. This is where the king, the monarch, was based here before they moved out to Versailles. Because, well, this just wasn't big enough for Louis XIV, so he wanted somewhere bigger. And actually, a lot of the museum is down to Napoleon. All his the battles that he won. Every time he defeated a new place, he would take their art and bring it here. So it increased a lot. In fact, at one point it was called Musée Napoléon. He loved himself, that Napoleon. But then after his defeat at Waterloo, lots of the art was seized by Napoleon's armies and actually returned to the original owners. But not the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is here. The Mona Lisa is in the Denon section. If you're coming to the Louvre, you'll see there are different wings. The Mona Lisa is in the Denon one. And the Louvre, I will bring you all here, is actually free if you are a student in Europe and under 26. Hey, otherwise it's 10 euros. In fact, pretty much all the museums in Paris, if you are under 26 and you can prove you're a European student, like it doesn't matter where you're from, if you can prove that you're studying in Europe and you're under 26, then it's free. And most museums are free to under 18s regardless. Okay, on the right we have the Riverside. I definitely recommend you take a stroll along the river, like not on this pavement here, but if you go down the steps so you're right on the river level, you're going to see the beaches that have been set up. And this is the last weekend. Tomorrow is the last day of the beaches. So they set it up every year for 4 weeks. And they have loads of fun things going on, like free activities for children, there's kayaking, there are little concerts. Just a nice beach to relax on. So it'd be really nice, maybe get an ice cream, stroll along there. The weather today is going to be so nice, you could do all these things. To the right you can see, covered up in all that paper and marketing stuff, is the conciergerie, which was a prison. It's now part of the judicial buildings, but it was where Marie Antoinette was imprisoned. There's the legend that poor Marie Antoinette was so stressed at the age of 18 being in prison that she went white overnight. So she went to bed with brown hair and woke up with white hair. That's a bit of a shock. Okay, straight ahead of us, we have the Latin Quarter. This is a great place for lunch and eating in general. It's very cheap here in the Latin Quarter. It's where the Sorbonne and all the universities are, so because of all the students, it's a cheap area. On the left is the famous Gothic cathedral, Notre Dame, built in the 12th century. It's a beautiful masterpiece, architectural masterpiece, definitely worth walking around. To go inside it's free, there'll always be a queue, but it's a very fast moving queue, so don't be put off if it looks quite long. However, the queue to go up to the top of the tower is a bit slower. In fact, I think someone waited 2 hours last time. So I don't even think it's so worth it to go up to the Tower of the Notre Dame. If you want to go up somewhere, either the Eiffel Tower or Montparnasse. The Tower of Montparnasse will cost you 10 euros, but you get to the 59th floor and you get a better view from there than you do from the Eiffel Tower. Having said that, when you get to the top of the Montparnasse Tower, you're at the top of a big building, whereas when you get to the top of the Eiffel Tower, you're at the top of the Eiffel Tower. So probably feels a little bit more exciting. You see all these green kind of boxes on the right? They open up and there are stalls where you can buy paintings and lots of souvenirs. You'll come across a lot of street vendors trying to sell you things. If you show any interest, they won't leave you alone. So if you want to get yourself a stalker, there you go. But they can be actually good people to buy cheaply from. Like if you want to get little Eiffel Tower key rings, you can get 6 for €1. You just have to negotiate. They'll give you a price, and definitely negotiate with them. You can always get it cheaper. Coming up on the left, we got the smallest house in Paris. Oh yeah, on the right we have Pont des Arts. This is the famous bridge which is often used in romantic settings on films. You can see lots of padlocks attached. That is to symbolize people's love for each other. Their hearts are locked together. So if you're in love, you should go and put a padlock there on that bridge. There you go, something to do. On the left now, you will see a blue door. Now, on the left now, this blue door, that's the size of that house. Just the width of that door. That's it. Open the door, done. You are in the whole width of the house. On the right, you've got the Louvre. It's a little bit bigger in contrast. So today's going to be a really lovely day for the river cruise. You can see we go along the river, see all the sights, including the London Eye on the right there. It's amazing the view you get of the London Eye, Ray, from Paris. Okay, I'm being stupid. That's just a small wheel. On the left is my favourite museum. This is the Musée d'Orsay. It's €8 to go inside, free for under 26-year-old students. And it was used to be a train station, a really beautiful train station, and it was going to get knocked down because it became too small. In 1939, the platforms became too small to accommodate the modern trains. But then instead of shutting it down, they turned it into a museum. And what it's famous for is housing Impressionism and Post-Impressionism. So you can see there's some Monet on the left. I love Monet, I love Impressionism. That period of time, both musically and all the paintings, all the art, is really in a period when all the artists are like really reflecting, they're doing all this Impressionism painting. But it's all the isms in that museum, Fauvism, a bit of surrealism. On the left now we have the National Assembly, l'Assemblée Nationale, the government seat. Coming up on the right you can see the Grand Palais again, that's where the Chanel holds its exhibitions and the police station is underneath. And when that was built, it was built for this Universal Exhibition in 1889. Well, the bridge was built at the same time, and it's called Pont Alexandre III. So it's dedicated to the Tsar Alexander III, who concluded the Franco-Russian alliance. On the left, you can see Les Invalides, which is where Napoleon is buried underneath that golden dome. It's also like a retirement, a home for retired war veterans. There was a hospital for injured soldiers as well. Inside now, though, there's a museum, a military museum, a contemporary history museum. I was like, oh my god, alright, we're even earlier than normal. Oh no, you must be stressing a little bit.
What do I need to stress for?
But then you're just going to come later.
Come as soon as I can. As I usually do.
You can see the Eiffel Tower on the left there. We're getting close to our drop-off point. What's going to happen now, because actually we got a later train, there were some delays, and it means that Ray's times are very tight. He's got a very strict timetable he has to stick to. If he goes over his hours, he will be fined, how much? £2,000. He doesn't want to pay £2,000. It's not worth him working. So he has to go, unfortunately, which means when we get off, if you can maybe quickly change now on the coach, or take off your clothes, take whatever you need for the day, and leave whatever you don't need for the day on the coach, then we will all go and change. Okay, so you're going to have 10 minutes. Ray's going to stop for 10 minutes so that you can take whatever you need from underneath